everyone, this is Jacque Williams, and in today's video I want to share with you a few tips about using embossing paste. And I'm going to be using the Quiet Meadow stamp set and the Timeless Quiet Meadow dies. I'm also going to be using the new Tahitian Tide. So just want to show you quickly, this is Tahitian Tide. And when I first pulled this out, my daughter thought it's just the same as Coastal Cabana. But this is Coastal Cabana. You can see it's quite a lot more green. This is Bermuda Bay, Pool Party, and Pacific Point. We have quite a few other blues, but they are very different than the Tahitian Tide. So you can see how that fits in with our color family. Now for our project today, I want to use just a little bit of embossing paste, or also known as texture paste, with the Tahitian Tide. So my first tip is to keep the lid on as much as you can and just get out the amount that you need and then put the lid back on immediately. It does dry very quickly, which is great for when you are crafting and you want to not have to wait too long. But it does mean that if you leave the lid off, that the whole jar is going to dry. My second tip is to use the ink very sparingly. This ink is very concentrated, and you actually don't have a lot of material here, so you don't want to have too much ink in there. You can always add more. And then you're going to lay your mask. This is one way to use the paste. Lay your mask over your project. Add your embossing paste. Now I'm going to add just a little bit more ink to give myself a bit of an ombre look down here at the bottom. Now when you have your paste completely applied, make sure to go back over and just scrape off any excess for a really smooth finish, unless you would like more of a textured finish, and then remove your mask. Be sure and wash your tools as soon as possible. You do not want the paste to dry and harden in the little gaps in your mask or on your tools. Then you'll want to let this dry naturally, or use the low setting on your heat tool. The high setting I found tends to bubble up the embossing paste. Now for the background of our project, I have used the new Fern embossing folder. This is going to be a favorite. Then just use two very small pieces of the Tahitian Tide Designer Series paper as a little strip for the background here. Before I put that on though, I'm going to add my flowers. These two flowers are Basic Gray, and this flower for the front that I'll put on with dimensionals is Smoky Slate. Then I'm just going to make two loops with my fingers, hold those together, cut off another piece of this beautiful Tahitian Tide metallic ribbon, and then tie them together with a little knot in the middle. Then I'll take those two ends and tie those around the existing ribbon here on the card. Then our last thing would be to just add some gems. And there we go. There's a beautiful card featuring Tahitian Tide and a little bit of embossing paste. Now here's the first version I did, and this one I used the flowers all in white and decided it needed just a little bit more contrast. So which one of those do you like better? And then let me show you a few other examples using the embossing paste. So I also have this one that I made, and this was inspired by a cute card by Kayla McCready. And I just love the simplicity of it. On this one, I've used the shimmer embossing paste. And then here's one that I've designed using the brick wall embossing folder and then using the paste over top of that brick embossing and using the new Wisteria Wishes. And then this card, I've incorporated a little bit of embossing powder with my embossing paste for a bit of shine on there. And this card is inspired by Lissa Z. I apologize, I don't know how to say her last name. And this is just a simple concept with a splodge of embossing paste and a shape drawn in it. And then this card was actually designed by my daughter Madeline. This was a background that I had made and didn't end up particularly liking. So she took it and made this beautiful card using the Nature's Harvest dies. And this we've got silver and gold embossing over that daisy mask. And here's just another simple one that my daughter made, also using the silver embossing powder and using the butterflies and flowers layering mask just for a simple card. And then these ones I made using the tulip dies, and the embossing paste is just a subtle lacy background here. This is the same one that I used on our sample today, and the tutorial for this particular project is available in the link below the video, and it is part of the Flowering Fields All Stars tutorial bundle. And then these ones are just a fun, cute, quick one that I made using the Ladybug Punch and just having a little bit of those daisies there in the background for a bit of fun. So there you have it. I hope you enjoyed that and learned a little bit more about embossing paste and a little bit about the new Tahitian Tide. Thanks so much for joining me. This is Jacque Williams, and please subscribe to my channel for more tips and project ideas. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.